What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is a trailer for the Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, that story about Odysseus and the journey he went on to get back to his wife.
Yeah, over like 40 years. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for all the times in this movie he's going to look into the camera and go, my wife.
Wow.
Can you imagine? It's a dead serious movie, but every time Odysseus talks about his wife, he goes, my wife.
Yeah.
Circe, I cannot cheat on my wife.
That would be a choice.
All right. This movie shot entirely on IMAX cameras, and it's probably going to be pretentious as hell. And everyone on the internet is mad about the costumes, but I'm not going to lie.
I haven't seen that.
I don't care. I'm so excited for Christopher Nolan's next film.
Oh, wait. I actually do remember the costuming thing.
People are like weirdly upset about it. If the movie's good, I don't really care.
I actually get why they're upset about it.
After years of war,
Huh. His helmet sticks out so far from his face.
no one could stand between my men.
Damn, Matt Damon looks jacked.
And home.
No one except all the gods and the Cyclops and that's fucking stunning.
You're spoiling it for everybody.
Yeah, I'm spoiling the Odyssey.
Spoiler.
Oh, oh, hell yeah. Oh, I'm so stoked.
Promise me you will come back. What if I can't?
Well, there's going to be a lot of that. Huh.
Okay. The IMAX of it all looks really good.
Yeah, it does look good.
It looks really good.
It's probably going to be pretentious, like you said, but also it looks really good. It's really interesting the like recent obsession with this story.
What do you mean recent?
Well, I just mean like the Epic the Musical and this are all like.
Oh, see, that's interesting. The Odyssey to me is one of those things that it just never stops.
Sure.
Like,
but I haven't spoken to anybody about it in the last like 10 years, and then Epic the Musical came out. You know what I mean? Like.
See, that's so fascinating. Maybe Odyssey in particular, but it feels to me like the eras of my life all have their own retelling of Greek myths that are part of them, right? Like when I was a kid, it was like Clash of the Titans. Obviously, I didn't read Percy Jackson at the time. Percy Jackson came out. The Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you know what I mean, is based on the Odyssey. That's from years ago now. It is this weird thing where we are so obsessed with these Greek myths, and I don't think of that as something that has ever gone away and come back. It's just this thing that feels like every year somebody does something with a Greek myth, and right now there are a bunch of Odysseus in particular stories.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, one of my favorite movies to watch in the car, because we only had so many DVDs in the car, was my family had like car DVDs and then we had house DVDs. And we were actually having dinner the other night talking about it, and because it was like Honey, the like Jessica Alba movie, the Josie and the Honey and Josie and the Pussycats. What happened was, so we got a van that had a DVD player, and so we went to Walmart and we got a bunch of road DVDs, which were these like two-sided DVDs.
Oh.
And so each one had another movie on the back. And so Josie and the Pussycats and Honey were on the same disc. Anyway, we're home for Christmas. My siblings and I were just reminiscing about this. Yeah. But I watched the movie Troy. every time we got in the car.
Yeah.
Like every road trip, I love that movie. So for me, like, I just feel like Greek mythology has been such a weirdly big part of the media I've consumed my whole life.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I'm excited for this one. Like I said, like, it's going to be pretentious. I find Christopher Nolan very pretentious, but that's not always a negative. I think that sometimes it works really well.
Yeah.
And I love him as a filmmaker because I either think his movies are like some of my favorite films ever made, or I hate them with like a burning passion.
Yeah. 100%.
Like Inception, fucking love it.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, absolutely adored it. The Prestige, amazing film. Memento, amazing film.
Tenet?
The Dark Knight Rises, despise it.
Yeah.
Tenet, despise it.
Yeah. I feel you.
And it's so, like, Dunkirk, love it. I have a real love-hate relationship with his movies, which is why I love to see them, because I think that no matter what, when I see a Christopher Nolan film, I know that he's going to go for things, and I know that the swings are going to be huge, and I'm either going to love them or hate them, but I'm glad he takes those huge swings.
Exactly.
I don't like Tenet at all. I'm really glad he went for it.
Sure.
And that people love that movie.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I would much rather see one of his films and be like, wow, that was not for me, than go see a milquetoast director make a film that I'm like, it was kind of a waste of my time.
Yeah, it's not memorable.
Yeah.
But I do remember Tenet, even though I didn't like it, right? Like.
Yeah, but we all, like, that same day we saw that and New Mutants back to back.
God.
And like, New Mutants was fine, but entirely forgettable.
So mediocre, yeah.
I don't like Tenet, but I remember it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he is a brilliant, genius filmmaker who makes really, like, out there things that, you know, like I said, either my favorite or least favorite things of all time.
Yeah.
And I think that is more interesting than... I think it is why people are so drawn to him, even if they maybe don't love his style of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Is that you have to, even if you don't end up liking the movie, you have to see what he did.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
And I would take 50 Tenets to get another Dunkirk, or to get another The Dark Knight.
Right.
Or Batman Begins, which is also a brilliant movie, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about him is he's so creative and so brilliant that I have objective issues with some of his scripts. I do think that he has... I'm actually really curious to see in this film, to bring it back to this, I'm curious to see in this film how he handles the relationship between Penelope and Odysseus. Because I don't necessarily think his strength is always in relationships.
Yeah.
I don't think that the scripts that he...
And they're gonna never be together. Like...
Yeah, but it is so important that you understand that relationship.
Yeah.
And now, granted, you have Matt Damon. Matt Damon is a very talented actor, and he can convey a lot without a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it is going to be really curious as this movie kind of... It hinges on this relationship between this man and this woman who aren't even on screen that much.
Yeah.
How much the script really gets into that, and how much we are able to feel... I sometimes feel like Christopher Nolan's movies keep the relationships at arm's reach. Just at arm's reach, right?
Yeah.
Arm's length, sorry. And I am really curious to see if this movie will manage to find some of that intimacy that I find other directors are a little bit more capable of than I necessarily think Christopher Nolan is very good at.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I've definitely never really watched one of his movies and been like, wow, the romance, you know?
Early on, I think there's really good romance. I think The Prestige has, like...
I haven't seen that. So.
I think earlier on in his films, I think the intimacy was there. I think it... You know... I think his later films, it sort of becomes, like, this weird male yearning that is very cold. I think that... I love Inception, but I find the romance in that movie very stuttery.
Yeah.
It's the same with, like, Interstellar. Like, Matt McConaughey can yell that it's about love, Murph, all he wants.
Yeah.
The end of that movie didn't really work for me the way the rest of it did, because it feels like the movie's trying to tell me something rather than me really, like, feeling like I can experience it.
I agree, yeah. That one is a bit of a miss for me personally, but
I love the first 2/3.
Yeah.
God, I love the first 2/3.
100%.
But again, I don't mind not liking some of his movies because they're experiences, right? Even the ones I don't like, I'll watch again.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Rises, I don't really need to watch again. That movie is very annoying to me. But the rest of his films, even the ones I don't like, I will happily sit down and watch because he's so good that there are things to mine. There are choices, there are visuals, there are things that like you get out of them. It's not just shot, reverse shot, conversation. You hope the dialogue is worth putting on film. Yeah. Which is what a lot of Hollywood sometimes feels like now. Yeah. You know, visually.
It can, for sure.
A lot of movies look like ass. I know. They just do, right? And so the visuals of this are going to be such a huge part of it.
Yeah. Even the shots they decided to show us in the trailer looked incredible.
We might have to look at IMAX tickets now because the IMAX is sold out.
What?
The 70mm screens.
Can't be. You can't buy tickets that far in advance.
Yeah, they put them out a year in advance and they sold out immediately. All the 70mm screens. There's only like 6 of them in North America.
Yeah. Okay.
The 68th Street in New York. There's one in LA. There's only a few screens that are actually the full 70mm. They're amazing. If you ever get to go to the 68th Street AMC in New York and go to the 70mm, I got to see The Dark Knight Rises there. I don't like that movie, but God, did it look good.
You're like, at least it was pretty when I looked at it.
Yeah. God, I'm excited for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll have to... I didn't know that. I was like, there's no way that the movie tickets are on sale already. Like, sometimes you can't buy movie tickets until like a week in advance, which I think is very...
No, they deliberately put the 70mm on sale and they sold out immediately. It was crazy.
That doesn't surprise me. So I want to talk about the controversy you brought up at the beginning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The costuming. So what I found looking through that was apparently they had reached out to basically the #1 expert in the world when it comes to this era and how stuff was made, what it would have looked like, etc. And it's a guy who actually practices these like methods.
Right.
And he says that they ghosted him. And I think that's why people are like kind of upset. They're like, dude, you were so close to getting the #1 expert in the world on this, and you ghosted him.
But
like,
people are also upset that like these costumes are not historically accurate at all. The horsehair, that like fringe, that's not accurate, at all.
Then why have I seen it in museums?
No, it wouldn't be accurate to these. Those helmets have existed in history.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have existed in these characters' lives.
Interesting.
It's a time and place thing. This
is maybe an odd question because it's been a while since I've actually read it. But does the Odyssey take place in specific years? Because I don't remember it being like this date to this date.
So, yes and no, in that if the Trojan War happened...
Yep. Well...
Then this takes place after that.
100%.
But if the Trojan War didn't happen...
Question mark, then. Great.
Which it probably did, but we don't... You know what I mean? It's one of those weird things where like, we're pretty sure.
Yeah.
We're like pretty sure it happened.
Sounds about right.
Achilles might not have existed, but like he also might have. Like he might have been a real person. He might not have. It's complicated.
Yeah.
But no, people were complaining. People are upset that these aren't historically accurate at all.
Which here's the thing: if you're putting up a historical piece, I think that accuracy is important. But the Odyssey didn't actually happen. Just in case you didn't know that, there were not cyclopses.
We don't know that for sure.
I'm pretty sure that the underworld does not exist. I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
But like Poseidon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how sure?
I'm like 9.9 out of 10% sure. Yeah.
All right. When we die and we meet Hades, and he's a hot gay blue man.
It's gonna be hot, yeah.
Who's everyone's gay best friend. Mm-hmm. Hades and I are gonna get along great.
I could see it. Absolutely. Yeah.
We're just gonna like drink martinis and be cunty with each other. Anyway, if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is...
There was one woman.
Penelope.
A single woman.
If you want to follow us on the internet,
Sorry,
you can.
not single. She's intentionally not single, and that is a huge
Well,
plot
but people think she's single. For like 10 years.
They want her to be single.
They're pretty sure. It's been 10 years. They're like,
yeah, but she's
lady.
like, my husband is coming back.
Lady. If you want to follow us on the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
Do something nerdy tonight. Bye.
Bye.